Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. You can write me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any question regarding this video, as well as any video that I have posted in the past. It's easier for me to reply more fully in email. If you have any videos that you would like me to make, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. My friend Jason normally do not like tofu, but one time he had tofu in a Chinese restaurant, and the tofu was fried, and he was very impressed with the texture of the tofu, and he told me that it is very different from the regular tofu. And so he purchased regular tofu from the store, and he tried to fry it himself. It turned out that it is far more difficult than he realized. First of all, he needs to use a lot of oil. And secondly, because of the moisture in the tofu, it caused the oil to splatter, and it made kind of a mess. So he decided the other option is that he can bake it in the oven. Again, that takes significant amount of time. And after finished baking it, the tofu tends to be really tough. And finally, he tried in the air fryer, and that did not work as well. So when he asked me, I told him that you can save yourself a lot of time by purchasing tofu already fried. So here I demonstrate to you how to use this fried tofu to cook a vegetable medley dish. Cooking this vegetable medley dish is very simple. I just use my basic vegetable stir-fry template. In fact, this method is so straightforward. It's much easier to cook this dish than cooking, say, with other proteins such as chicken. But fried tofu has wonderful flavor. In fact, in many ways, that fried tofu is an excellent meat substitute. I cook this dish in my Cucina 14-inch stainless steel wok. I start out with 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. I normally use canola oil, and you can use any oil that you would like. Because there's nothing will stick and burn to the bottom surface of the wok, so you really do not need to spot season the wok. All you have to do is to heat up the wok to the temperature usually right below the smoking point. For this dish, I'm going to use 3 different kinds of vegetables. I'm going to start out with some broccoli, and this is followed by some portobello mushroom, and finally I'm going to add some cherry tomatoes. But in addition, I'm also going to add some cashews. Fried tofu is available in most Chinese Asian grocery stores, and usually they have several different brands. I like this brand best, and there are differences in prices too. This brand is also the least expensive. However, this particular brand has no preservative. So when you bring the fried tofu back home, you need to use it as soon as possible. I cut the fried tofu into cubes, and they usually come in 4 blocks, and it's very easy to cut them into cubes, and I like that best because it works best with the vegetable medley. They are just about the right size to fit with the other ingredients. And for this dish, I'm going to use about 2 cups of broccoli. Now, you can use as many or as little broccoli that you want. For this dish, because the fried tofu is going to be the main ingredients, so I'm going to use only limited amount of broccoli. The broccoli is more served as a secondary ingredient. By varying the ratio of these different ingredients in a dish, you can change the focus on the ingredients. In this dish, the focus will be on fried tofu. All the other ingredients that I'm going to add to it will be supplementary. As you can see, the broccoli suck up almost most of the oil in the wok. Actually, in fact, now you look at the bottom of the wok, you have no oil at all. And this is actually a good sign, means that you are not using more oil than it is necessary. And by going in stir frying, is always use as little cooking oil as you possibly can. So next, I'm going to add the fried tofu to the wok. The fried tofu is already cooked. So basically, what you are doing is that you just warm up the fried tofu. And this is a good example of a sequential stir frying. I put the broccoli first, so the focus will be on cooking the broccoli to the texture I want. And once I achieve the desired texture, I add the fried tofu to the wok. And now I basically stir fry everything together that help me to warm up the fried tofu. Once the fried tofu warm up, the inside of the tofu will get nice and soft, which is really wonderful. Next is I'm going to add some portobello mushroom. Now I add the portobello mushroom toward the end of the cooking process because I do not want to overcook the portobello mushroom. I just want to cook it sufficiently so that I can still taste the flavor of the mushroom. If I add it too early, the mushroom will blend too much into the dish. So in this case, I will not be able to experience the nice flavor of the mushroom. At this point, I add a little bit more cooking oil because mushroom have a tendency to soak up the oil. And if you don't have enough oil, you will not be able to cook the mushroom properly with the temperature that you want. Next, I'm going to add some cashew nut. Because my son loves cashew, so I've been experimenting with different type of cashew nut. In this particular one, it has been roasted but without salt. In the past, I have used natural cashew nut and I will fry them first. In this case, I'm going to try something that's already roasted. I want to see how it tastes. If this works well, it will save me a step because then I don't have to fry the cashew nut and I can just take whatever I have, add to it directly. And now I decided that I'm going to make just a light sauce. The way I'm going to do it is that I noticed that there's some of the food ingredients has burned to the bottom surface of the wok. So what I'm going to do is use a method where I call it spot cleaning. I put a little bit of water right at the area where food has been burned. I use just a small amount of water because I do not want to create too much of a sauce. And because the wok is very hot, as soon as I put the water onto the surface of the wok, it starts to turn into steam, then I can use my wok spatula to scrape it off. This makes cleaning much easier later on. At the same time, it returns the flavor back to the dish. And next, I'm going to season the dish with a combination of 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce, and this is followed by with 1 tablespoon of hoisin sauce. This is a seasoning strategy which I really like. I like the flavor combinations. And because I can always make adjustment by varying the ratio between these 2 sauces, I can create very distinct flavor based on the food ingredients that I'm cooking. And with the tofu, this is a combination that I have used in the past and I really like it. Last but not the least, I have some cherry tomatoes come from my wife's garden. And I thought it would be great to add to the wok, and this will make the dish, first of all, more colorful and also will create better flavor. And with a little bit more stir frying, now the dish is done. As you can see, the dish takes very little time to cook, and at the end I turn off the heat and I did a taste test to make sure the taste is how I like it. This is an important part of flavor chasing because by constantly tasting the flavor of the dish, you have an opportunity to make adjustment, and that is the beauty of stir frying. Everything can be adjusted readily to match the flavor that you like. And besides, when you use different ingredient combinations, the flavor will be different, and by adjusting it, you can maximize the outcome of the dish. So now it is done. As you can see here that in this dish, the tofu is the main ingredient. It takes on the most prominent position. And I love this tofu, so I don't mind it to be the primary ingredient. As I have mentioned earlier, I am not a huge fan of the regular tofu. I will eat it, but I do not hungry for it. But I'm hungry for this fried tofu. So every time when I have opportunity to shop at a Chinese Asian grocery store, I will always buy 1 fried tofu and I will cook it right away after I bring it back from the grocery store. Now, if I live close by one, which I don't, I probably will eat fried tofu every single night. That's how much I enjoy fried tofu. It can go with many different type of dish combinations. This is only one of the possibilities. So if you have never tried fried tofu before, I think this is something that you should give it a try, and I think you will enjoy it. I use this tofu vegetable medley dish as a foundation for another dish, and which I put salmon around the vegetable medley. And this makes the dish more interesting, and at the same time, this makes a complete meal. And this is the reason why I love my fast cooking system, because you can create so many different variations. I post a video each day so that you can make home cooking as part of your daily routine to be a viable alternative to fast and ultra-processed food. When you use my fast cooking system, home cooking is practical, efficient, creative, and fun. If you'd like to learn more about this cooking system, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.